Howdy, Heroes Hearth. This is Kyle Fergusson. Today I get to sit down with Hasuobs, 30k Hasuobs, a flex player, ranged player. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing pretty good. We just had a nice session of scrims, and now I'm here to watch our fifth map actually against Wildheart, right? It was the last one of the series, yeah.
Yeah, our little Game 5 reverse sweep action that happened, and a wild game it is. This is going to be a Lost Vikings counterplay. I'd love to talk to you more directly about what Falstad's doing, your tactical choices, but ultimately, y'all are basically just dealing with Lost Vikings stuff here.
Yeah, so basically they showed Vikings very early, I think in the first, like they were second pick and they picked it in 1-2, so they showed their hand right away. From there, they have like two options. They can draft a four-man that pushes structures very hard, or they can draft a little bit more flexible composition that has like pick-off potential and does camps very well. They chose to draft double support Katsia hard carry, so they will run down our bot lane. And I mean, we were kind of prepared for that, but honestly, I already watched this replay, and I think there was a few things we could have done quite a bit better, especially in terms of laning phase, because we will end up having both our globals on bot lane defending their four-man push, and that's certainly not ideal, because then we can't collapse on them. But honestly, it won't bite us too much, so it's a small thing though. I think we could have done better. I don't think, like for example, maybe I should be mid here and potentially Sylvanas be on bottom. But Sylvanas also brings very good push on the other side, so yeah, we didn't have really time to debate that right in game, so
yeah, I'm sure.
we ended up on these lanes, but yeah, looking at it afterwards, maybe it wasn't the best setup.
I mean, the cast was very focused on this bottom lane and kind of the danger that Wildheart was presenting all game, but it was very easy to forget how much throughput the Anubrak Beetles, the Black Arrow, and Top had, and just how fast they were pushing as well. Yeah,
that's true. I think there was one thing that I realized pretty early, like playing this game actually. I think I should have started our easy camp. Because now, like, we can't save the fort, right? We can make sure we get the experience and maybe slow down the process a little bit. At least with Falstad Brightwing. But given that when the fort dies, like, they have direct access to our easy camp, which is a little bit annoying. And maybe I had time to do it in between the minion waves if I started it at minute 1.
Well, but, is there anything you were stacking down here? You got Frequent Flyer at level 1.
Yeah.
And that's a minion kills. So you were in range of some minion kills. I guess that mid business would have just meant more stacks.
That's true, yeah. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't tunnel too much on the quest here, in this game at least, playing Falstad. I don't think really that's what's gonna decide the match in the long run. It is a bonus, and for why did I go for it? I think the auto attack build, once you hit level 13, is gonna be very nice against the Garrosh. The percentage damage you get, especially with the level 7, the secret weapon, you have a lot of auto attack damage. And Cassia, yes, she has a blind, but she won't be able to blind all of us. So, you know, you get some good damage out of there.
She's also sporting that armor, and so if you get that percent base at 13,
yeah,
you'll be able. So actually, that's an interesting point. I bet you there's a lot of Falstad players out there. This auto attack build is coming into vogue. People are becoming aware the bugs have been fixed on the W build. It's not as powerful as it once was because it got nerfs at the same time. Everyone practiced the auto attack build in the meantime. So this is the go-to build for Falstad. And if you're using it for percent-based damage, why bother over-focusing the quest when attack speed button is going to do all you need in the first place?
I mean, yeah, it's not quite as simple, but I think in this draft at least, against the Vikings, and like how quick this game is, like you see they're knocking at our keep wall at minute 4. Sorry for the camera work, by the way. It's like you're watching from my POV, and I'm playing the global, and you know, the more macro heavy, so I'm not really watching what's happening on bottom. But yeah, basically, I think fighting for this tribute is okay. We did die on bottom though with one character, so it was a little bit more painful than it should have been. And we decide to global in now, and I believe we die again, which is kind of unfortunate. Let me see though, I don't remember exactly how this fight goes. We definitely, yeah, Sylvanas dies on the back end of it.
Well, and kind of that surprise throughput through Kharazim. He's a tricky one.
Yeah. He has a lot of reach with his Qs. We do get the Cassia kill, and we kind of stop them from pushing our keep. But yeah, ideally, I think we don't die. But yeah, I mean, it can happen, right? HeroesHearth, they know very well how to punish people as well.
Is there ever a situation where you might, pass on hammer gains, knowing full well you're going down the road for auto attack build?
Well, I love the talent, actually. I think if you start splitting and catching soak as Falstad, it helps you so much of like topping off your HP. Like you get a globe here and there, and then the auto attack heal, so you're basically always full HP. I've seen people taking the W shield in some drafts, and I think that has his spot as well. I don't really like the updraft. I don't think that's too valid of a talent.
And then Secret Weapon is what kind of brings the damage throughput together on this auto attack build.
Yeah, exactly. So ever since the Falstad rework and the way Blizzard changed the boomerang, that you have a baseline, but you can still talent into it. But basically, at the end of the day, if you skill boomerang on 7, the wave clear is not that much better, and that's kind of the only reason you would really pick it. Like, yes, it has spell armor reduction as well, but the secret weapon burst that you get during when the Q flies out and you get to auto attack is like so high that it's hard to argue to deviate there. Especially, and you're saying it, if you go auto attack, looking at sustain wins, I think it's called at 13 as well. So yeah.
Is it a pretty easy choice to basically say secret weapon, hammering goes out, that's when I'll hit my 1 button for bonus damage, or is there anything else you're considering there?
No, that's correct. Like you try to press your 1 when you realize you will have a chance to auto attack a hero several times in a row. And ideally you want to time it with your Q, because that's when the burst really comes in. But there are scenarios where, I don't know, your Q is on cooldown and someone runs into you, then you still activate your 1 to get the extra attack speed, especially if they have no mobility, because then you get the full value from it. You can also use it at camps sometimes. For example, I used it on the boss at top. Like 45-second cooldown is something you can play around to speed up the process, for example, killing the boss. Yeah.
And then you got Mighty Gust, which makes a lot of sense here. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to disengage this enemy team, double support Cassia coming at you. But also there's an Anubarak doing Web Blast, and that seems to be a big factor.
Yeah, and I'm about to run it down here, I remember. I'm sorry. My eyes, oh no. Gust wasn't even used. But yeah, you're talking about Gust, and especially together with the Cocoon, we have like a very interesting setup where you Cocoon 1 person and you try to Gust away the supports or the Garrosh, or ideally all of them. So you can isolate the target and get the free kill. Also, Gust is a very good tool around bosses, and Cursed Hollow has 2 of them on the map. And you said it, like, if one of your teammates is in danger, they have like the Garrosh flip into Taunt. Like, Gust is one more safety tool that can maybe save the target that otherwise would just blow up. Hinterlands Blast is a very, very niche ultimate if you go for the damage route. And it usually also requires like very specific setup, at least in competitive play. I don't know, like let's say you have a judgment composition where you legit want to tunnel vision on a single target, you might go Hinterland Blast, but that's very, very rare.
Makes perfect sense. This draft, I think the only thing I don't really understand about it is the Malfurion, because usually double supports, at least in a Stormling environment, tend to be a bit more on the aggressive side. And Malfurion seems so passive.
Yes and no. Ever since his level 1 root also puts the target asleep, he is very obnoxious to deal with. And both of the supports went the aggressive ultimate, right? So they have Twilight Dream, they have 7-sided. I do agree though, sometimes you would see maybe a Uther or someone like that. But honestly, HeroesHearth really love to play Malfurion first of all. And they like to pair it with any other second support as well. So this teamfight here is very important. That's why I fly early, because this tribute is about to curse us.
It's such a great fly location too. The fact that you're not seen going in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I used Gust here to isolate the garage, and I was talking earlier about killing garage with my auto tech build. He got stuck in the wall. The teammates got gusted away, and yeah, luckily we got the kill. It's a very close team fight, and honestly, this tribute kind of like if they win it, I think they win the game because they are a full level ahead. Yeah, actually a little bit more even, and they would curse us, right? So. This game was like very far from a walk in the park, and thank God we managed to win this tribute, because now we get one more fighting chance for the next tribute as well.
Sustaining wins. Basic attacks against heroes deal bonus damage equal to 1.5 of the hero's maximum health, increased to 2% while Tailwind is active. Are you conscious or going after the Tailwind thing, or does it just, extra 0.5 not too big of a deal?
It is definitely a difference, and luckily Blizzard gave you the option for the level 1 talent, right? If you activate your level 1, you get Tailwind for 5 seconds, so you usually get the value out of it. My Gust was kinda bad here. To be fair though, I think we should have spell checked both bushes, because we didn't know exactly if they were already on boss or not. But I could have gusted a lot better here. Maybe Anubarak lives, but it's kind of rough, like if they get him like this.
But even that barrel roll kind of shows your awareness of all the various nooks and crannies on this map. I mean, sure, we've all been playing Cursed Hollow for a long time, but at least as a newer Falstad player, I find myself flying into very obvious places and immediately dying.
Yeah, I mean, that sometimes happens to me as well. Don't get me wrong. Like, we all know the Falstad players that global in and instantly explode. Yeah, I mean, there's two things about the global usage. You try to land in a bush or in a somewhat safe location, because keep in mind the opponents have a marker when you land. And about your E, ideally you can E over a wall, for example, because then they can't chase you. That's like the best way to escape, but sometimes you don't have the option, right? And then you can't do it, but... Yeah. Another very crucial tribute. Basically same situation as before. And it's very chaotic, honestly, the way Wildheart played it here, because they sent the Vikings and Garrosh to the tribute while the others were doing the boss. And they did kill our Sylvanas, but they still decided to push down bottom. I think if they watch the replay, or if they analyze the replay, that's for sure something they are talking about. Because I think they could have maybe played for the tribute after killing the Sylvanas, and that would give them a way better chance.
What I'm interested to see too is if you end up using a Gust within the time that you may have panicked use a Gust like I would have at that previous tribute. They were all over you and you didn't press the button. It really shows some impressive awareness, or at least maybe trust of the Brightwing is the better way to put it.
Yeah, Brightwing was called that she's gonna save me there. And yeah, we got the Garrosh kill on the top tribute there, which was very important. I tried to fly after them and Gust here, but they, when I landed, we saw the Malfurion route, and then I get slapped as well. I used the Gust here, and we spoke about it earlier, Cocoon into Gust. I actually, and that's something, like we haven't practiced this kind of composition too much. So you do make mistakes, and actually this Gust could have been better as well. If I wait slightly longer, I hit the Garrosh as well, and then I think he cannot into the fray his teammate there. There is obviously, he can counterplay, like if he, like Justin has a pretty big brain as well, so when he knows that I'm waiting for him, he might be able to use his Unstoppable on level 4, and then, walk up to his teammate to save him anyways.
That's an interesting puzzle. So yeah, it may have actually worked out better if you gusted at a less optimal time for the length on the Cocoon, because Justin would have popped his Unstoppable and not been pushed back.
To be fair, I didn't really think about that. I really wanted to kill the Cassia, so I tried to get them away, but yeah, Garrosh was still close enough. And yeah, we took the boss, and we kind of we want to end with this, because they are still almost a level ahead, and they have 2 out of 3 tributes, right? So if we don't win here, they will get to 20, and they curse us, and it's gonna be very problematic against Vikings. My team is smurfing this fight though. We have a beautiful silence arrow by Dino. He hits, I think, 5 heroes maybe. Anubarak also hits a massive E. Liam was isolating the garage, so he couldn't into the fray. Like all these small things, they come together, and that's why we got the Cassia kill. And you know, the boss is still very healthy, so we are able to end the game here.
And with Cassia down, that's so much of their damage gone, their chance to even bounce back here. I think one of the most interesting things for anyone looking to play this build out there is just to maybe rewatch this again and watch when you're popping that frequent flyer. It seems such an important part of just Falstad's damage output. But I do want to ask you about level 16 here. You got Afterburner, which is a very fun one, but you know, there's Tailwind talents. Would you ever go anything else here at 16?
So, back in the day, before the rework of Falstad, I think the Airy Gusts on 16 was also very interesting, and you would pair it with a level 13 trade talent. I kind of forgot the name, but basically, if you go into the auto attack build, I think Afterburner is a very safe choice. And also, if they have a lot of kill threat on you, it also makes you way more safe, right? Because you can press your E, and then for 3 seconds afterwards, you are basically a little speedy bird. Like, you're running as fast as you can, so they probably won't be able to catch you. So yeah, I think if you go into the auto attack build, the Afterburner is usually a very safe choice. Especially, like in this draft, given that they have Vikings as well, and Vikings do a lot of damage, and they are a kill threat. Like, if they come from a flank and run at me, I need to be able to gain some distance, otherwise they might just blow me up.
Yeah, that old spin to win problem.
Yeah.
And then at 20, if it would have gone so long, which sounds like hopefully it didn't, what 20 would you have gone for?
I would have chosen Wind Tunnel, and I would recommend to do that in 90% of the games. 5% of the time, you can go Epic Mount or Nexus Frenzy, and the scenarios are, if you are already hitting their core and you need a little bit of extra damage, you can go the Nexus Frenzy to have the attack speed. Otherwise, technically it synergizes with the auto attack build, and yes, you will get wins in Storm League as well. But Wind Tunnel is where the true power is, and it requires a little bit of finesse, right? Sometimes you should think about Wind Tunnel as a tool to push the opponents into a wall. So they are basically stun locked for the 4 seconds while the Wind Tunnel is active, because between the wall and your continuous gust, they cannot really control the character. So you can set up very big wombo combos by yourself for any of your teammates to follow up, basically. And a quick shout out to Epic Mount as well. It's actually a very, very strong talent. The more macro requirements on the map, I think the better the talent gets. And for example, Dragonshire comes to mind. If you want to fly very quickly to one of the altars to cap it, it becomes a very interesting choice. But Wind Tunnel is usually the very big power play of Falstad on 20. So it's like kind of a safe pick if you go for it.
Okay, so you got 20 team fights coming. You're off cooldown for Mighty Gust, Wind Tunnel 100%, but then these other situations where you might be doing something else, wins on cooldown. I want to win right now. I want to fly up there right now. Might be a better choice around.
Yeah, it's kind of true. And there's one more thing about Epic Mount. In a way, it also makes you a lot safer, because the takeoff is a lot quicker with this talent. So you can actually split a lot more aggressively when people run at you, and then if you have the Epic Mount, you actually fly out very quickly. So there's almost no way that they can catch you between you having Gust, your E, and then the fly out. In theory, you can do it without Epic Mount as well, but it's like something that makes you like extra safe in that sense.
Very cool. Well, this was an awesome rundown. Thank you for joining me for it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Everyone here watching at HeroesHearth, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell for more CCL action, of course, but also more Learn to Play content for Heroes of the Storm.